Thad Templeton?
Yes, may I ask who's calling?
It's the opponent, Tristan. Tristan Pinpoint Dale, how you doing?
Oh, doing good, Tristan, but, it's looking like,
I know, don't be so fucking smug right now. I'm calling to congratulate you.
Oh.
I've accepted defeat. You won.
Well, thank you. It's very big of you to admit that.
Well, I mean, I kinda have to admit it. You stole the fucking election, you corrupt motherfucker. You're corrupt.
Well, I don't consider it stolen if we follow the rules set out by Congressman Blacksmith.
The rules were made to make me lose. Of course you're not gonna see a problem with it. If the rules were made to make little fucking bitch boys lose, then you would be mad right now.
Well, the rule was made to keep little bitch boys to lose, and look who's being the bitch boy.
Don't you look, you don't even talk to me like that. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Just like a sex gremlin. No wonder we all turned out and made sure to have record turnout.
This not record turnout. You just stole a third of the votes. I got more votes than anybody's ever gotten. But a third of them went to you. I don't know why they went to you and didn't just get thrown away like my votes were worth 2/3. Your votes were, my vote,
Congressman Blacksmith said it was okay, so...
Congressman Blacksmith is a crook. Just like you, Dad. You're a fucking phony. You think I'm not on to you? You're a fucking phony. You're a fucking puppet.
It's okay, he doesn't know you're an actual puppet. Just say something.
I wouldn't even know. I'm just gonna tell him he's ugly.
You're ugly.
You're really not a look at yourself, Thad. Fuck you. I got 2 beautiful partners at home, waiting to fuck me, regardless of whether or not I won or not. Okay, who do you have? No one.
The support of 62% of
Fuck
New Springfield
you.
voters.
Fuck you. You are such a smug little fuck.
You may call me, Mr. Mayor Templeton. Bye.
He bought it hook, line, and sinker. Great work, everybody.
Whoa, yes, congratulations, Sister No.
Now they always say congratulations.
Congratulations, Sister No. I always believed in you, and, so how are you going to keep this a secret, you know? How are you going to
Keep what a secret?
govern?
What are you talking about?
How are you going to govern the people, when you're in a meat suit? How's it going to go?
Oh, I'm just gonna make the suit sentient, let him do the job for me. You know, it's always better to have you have your money work for you.
That's a great idea. I had never even considered that.
Oh, of course you didn't consider it, because you're not magic.
So, that was the last time you played Thad Templeton? Now what, you're just going to make him sentient?
Yeah. Rise!
Oh my god!
What?
Thad? Thad?
What?
Do you know my name?
Your sister, no. You're a local, leader, and,
I am your creator.
What?
I am your creator, Thad, and I have created you to be a mayor. Can you do that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, well, can you go somewhere else? You have an office down the hall? You'll probably be mainly working at a city hall now, so just, go find, Google Maps it and just go spend the rest of your time there. And just be the mayor, do a good job.
I'll escort him to City Hall. Come on, Thad. We're going to City Hall.
I don't know why everybody voted him in, to be honest. He's really annoying.
Well, it really was the 1/3 of the votes that you stole from Tristan.
I didn't steal anything, Clark.
Well,
I merely just did what was right. I mean, can we all agree that sex gremlins shouldn't have 2/3? I mean, they shouldn't have a full vote. They're not really humans.
Yeah, I believe, and I mean, it's just only fair because a sex gremlin was only ever going to vote for a sex gremlin. So it just evened it out, you know? He got every 2 sex gremlins that voted, their vote went to him. And every 3rd person that tried to vote for Tristan, after they selected Tristan and said yes, we said, actually, sister, no. Well, that Dimpleton.
Clark, I really appreciate what you're doing right now, but I'm fucking with you. I totally fucking stole that election. Not legitimate at all.
Good. I was really thinking I was not understanding the plan, so I'm
No,
glad that
I stole it, just like Joe Biden stole the election from Donald Trump.
Exactly.
I took every single thing he did, and I applied it towards my campaign, including the 2/3 vote.
Right, I mean, that book that he put out after he was impeached the first term was really what helped us guide our campaign through the,
Everybody thought it was the tell-all, the tell-all of the Biden presidency and how he tried to stop black people from voting, but I saw it as a manual. How to get elected for dummies.
and you did it. I mean, I'm so, oh, hang on, my phone's ringing. Just
So,
1 second.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
1 second. Hello?
Clark, it's my...
Huh?
Clark, what are you doing?
Hello?
Sorry. It's my girlfriend. Sorry, sister.
Your
1
girlfriend?
second.
Hello?
Hey,
Clark!
Beverly, how are you doing, sweetie?
Clark, I just saw the good news. I just want to congratulate you and Sister No. And just want to hear your voice again.
Yeah, as we've been so busy with the election, but I was thinking about bringing home some Toronis if you want some when I get home.
Well, when are you going to be home? You haven't been home in months, Clark. I'm starting to think you forgot about me.
No, I didn't. Didn't you get my postcards and all of my,
I
every
haven't
time-
got anything, not even a text message.
Well, didn't you see all of the press conferences? Every time Thad made a statement, I would tug on my left ear. That was supposed to be for you two.
Yes,
see?
I did see that. That's what gave me hope that you would be back.
Well, of course, I would never forget about you. You're my little bumpy lumpykins, and I
Oh,
love you with all my
you're
heart.
my little flubber wubbertons. And we may not have communicated through, speech and conventional ways of communicating, but I know that you tugging your ear means you love me, at least I think.
Of course it does, and it just showed I was thinking about you, and I felt your soul presence the whole time, my heart beats for you and all that.
Oh, Clark, that means the world to me.
I'm so sorry that our schedule was so busy, it was hard stealing the election, it was a lot of hard work.
Listen, Clark, I have something to tell you. Just a heads up, you haven't been at the house for 3 months now. There's cat shit everywhere. I haven't been able to pick it up. I was kind of relying on you to do that. So, when you get back,
I'm surprised that... When did you get the cat? Has it been that long?
Yeah, you helped me pick it out before you started this campaign, and you said you would pick up
shit.
you said you would clean the litter box,
And I never even bought one to begin with, you're right.
there was no
Shit.
litter box, so there's
What's
cat
that
shit.
cat's name anyway?
Pisser, little Pisser.
We named the cat...
You named the cat Little Pisser.
That's really funny, I like that a lot. Well, yeah, it looks like, the election results are in. I don't see any reason why Sister No would keep us any longer, so, let me get out of here in about 10 or 15 minutes, and I'll get some dinner.
I can't wait, Clark. I can't wait. I'll be in my lingerie.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna stop by, Walmart on the way home to get the litter box and all that, too, so...
Thank you, Clark. You're so amazing. I can't wait to see you.
Give me about an hour, and I'll be there. I love you, baby.
Okay. Love you, baby.
Bye-bye. Sorry about that, sister. Hey, is it okay if now that everything's gone, I get out of here a little early?
Get out of here early. What are you talking about? Why would you want to leave? This is my party. I just won.
I know, I'm very happy for you. I figured that maybe I could stay for your toast and then, get home to my family.
Home?
Yeah, Beverly's house.
You want to go home? Aren't
well,
you
I mean,
already home, Clark?
Well, look, this office and this headquarters has really become a home to me, and I'm coming back in the morning.
Why
Is
are you
that not-
leaving? Why are you leaving?
Well, our work here is done, right? I mean, I'm
No,
gonna
our
come in
work
in the
here is
morning.
not done. We still have so much to do. You think the only thing I wanted to do was get elected? No! There's so much more to be done. We got Springfield, now we need the world. Where are you going? You're supposed to be my right-hand man.
I still want to be your right-hand man. I mean, this is my job. I mean, I'm gonna
What
be back
could
in the
possibly
morning.
be more important than this?
Beverly, I mean, my girlfriend.
Beverly? More important than me?
Not more important, but
No, you're not going home.
what do you mean?
There's a cause that you're here for. You're supposed to be here. God said you're supposed to be here. God said you're not supposed to leave.
Well,
Did you not just watch me? Did you not just watch me raise a meat suit from nothing and create life? God
I was
is
really-
channeled. I am channeling God.
I
And
know
God
you
says
are.
to stay.
Well, what am I supposed to tell Beverly? I mean, I just told her I'd be home, and can I at least like stop by and give her dinner and stuff?
Give me a phone. Here.
Okay.
I'll break the news to her.
Oh my God.
No more phones.
Well, how am I supposed to like keep in contact with everybody? And
You'll
also
keep
use
in
it for
contact
an
with me
alarm.
through telekinesis, and the rest, they're all sinners. You're not supposed to talk to them. That's what God said.
So
You have no life now. Your life is with me. Your life is for the cause. Do you want to be with my cause?
Well, I mean, I definitely support the cause of sex gremlin rights, and I want to keep working for you and being friends with you and spending time with you.
What if everybody knew, Clark? What if everybody knew that you helped steal an election?
Well, what if everybody knew you helped steal an election?
You were my manager. I didn't know anything.
Oh, you're going to pretend you didn't know anything? Really? You're going to lie on the stand if it gets that far?
It's not lying if it's the truth.
You did know. You were very complicit. You were in the suit.
No, I wasn't. That Templeton isn't a suit. He's a man. Go right down there. He's his own person.
Are you really going to gaslight me like this?
You don't know big words. Stop trying to use them. Are you really trying to gaslight me and tell me that I played a character, Thad Templeton, and stole an election? You're gaslighting me.
No, now you're reverse gaslighting me by saying that.
Why
I'm
are you
gaslighting-
confusing me? Why are we still fighting about this? You're staying.
Okay. Well, let's have a bottle of champagne then, right?
Put a smile on your face. I want to see you smile. I just won, so.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sister Marble? Sister Marble?
Whoa. Yeah?
Could you assist Clark here to go get some more champagne for me, please?
Sure thing, sister, no.
Thank you for being a darling.
Whoa. Brother Clark, let's go down to the wine cellar. Whoa.
Hey, Marble!
Yeah?
Rough him up a little bit.
Sure thing, sister, no.
Hello and welcome to MOATAIF. At this point, this movie's been out for like a month by the time you're listening to this.
Has it been out for a month? I thought it just came out on Friday, the day I watched it.
Well, it did just come out on Friday.
In theaters?
Yeah, it came out on Friday when we're recording this, but by the time this episode
Oh.
airs, it'll have been out for a month. So this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen Spiral from the Book of Saw, and you're planning to, and or you don't want to hear any spoilers about it, you might not want to listen ahead, because if you haven't seen it yet, listen. You probably weren't intending to anyway, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, if you're worried about spoilers, don't listen to this episode of MOATAIF. Thanks for listening. Stay Moat.
For those of you who don't give a fuck and just want to hear what we thought about the movie, here we are.
I of course, for background information, huge fan of the Saw series. Huge fan.
I think we both are. We both seen them all.
Yeah.
I think we both have watched them together too, like rewatched them.
We have, yeah. I don't know. I like discovered them buying a random DVD of Saw once. It might have even been in like a $5 bin at Walmart, something like that.
That's how you discovered Saw?
Yeah, and I watched it, and at that time there were a few others that had already been made, maybe 2 or 3. And I instantly went out and bought the rest as I got finished with the DVDs. Having at the time now, because this is like 2007, 2008, having my parents take me to the store and get these, or doing it when I'm hanging out with friends, I guess. If I hung out with friends that early, I don't even fucking know.
The Walmart always carded you back then too. They always wanted to make sure that you could get our movies.
And I'll never forget.
Black Friday,
we waited all that time to buy fucking DVDs, and they took them all from us.
Yeah, I think the only thing I had left was like Where the Wild Things Are.
Right. I don't even think I ended up getting anything.
I still haven't even watched it.
It's an okay movie, Where the Wild Things Are. But I kept up with the series throughout the years and would continually watch them. I have a memory of my dad and Alicia going to see Saw 4 in theaters. I didn't go. The first one I saw in theaters was Saw 7, the final chapter. And I saw it at Shacker's Cinema 5 at the mall.
Big rip.
Yeah, my mom drove me down there, and that was the only one I saw in theaters. And I enjoyed it for what it is. I have always liked the Saw series for the universe that they built of like characters. They keep calling back on the same characters in multiple movies over and over again with the same cast. That always appealed to me. Seeing like the progression of like Detective Hoffman and Agent Strom and how they became involved in the case and all of that. And then all of a sudden in Saw 7, getting this call back to the first movie and finding out that apparently the guy that sawed off his foot has been his accomplice, another secret accomplice the whole time, to carry out his... Listen, I am a slut for this series. I've been rewatching it with Taylor. My goal was to watch them. She'd never seen any. And my goal was to watch them all before we saw Spiral, but we only got through 5 and then half of 6 before we saw it.
Well, thankfully you didn't really need to see any of those to have any clue what was going on with Spiral.
You really don't have to see any of them. If you have seen like Saw 1 through 3, that's really all you need, because once you know John Kramer's dead in Saw 3, that's like the biggest twist of the whole series. So if you don't know that...
God, 3 is such a good movie.
So good. But you don't even need to know that to watch the movie, because it's a copycat killer.
Right.
Which is okay.
It's interesting you telling your origins of Saw, because I watched the first one when like it first came out when I was a kid. I'm gonna try to figure out what year that came out, because we got it on DVD, and I
think it's like
2004.
Oh yeah.
So we probably got it around 2005. So I'm like 10 years old. I don't know why my parents watched this with me, but we were horrified. Like it was really unlike any other movie, like horror movie at the time, because it really fucked with you. And I just remember like coming away from that being like,
Still today, when we rewatched Saw, just like a week ago at this point, it's still, even at it being like my 9th or 10th time watching the movie, it's still like gave me goosebumps. It still surprised me. It still kept me interested. And the twist at the end is so fucking iconic.
Right.
When Jigsaw's just been dead, laying there the whole time, and he stands up, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Incredible. So good. Everybody else would say that the series declined throughout the rest, and there's no doubt it did.
I think it got better from like 1, 2, 3. It progressively got better. 4 is pretty good. 4 it like kind of evened out, and then the movies just kind of. I really feel like they just stayed consistent. Like they didn't really get better. They didn't really get worse.
I've noticed that as I've been rewatching, they really do pay attention to what they set in the last. It's very reminiscent of like how we would make Janet Ivanovich's Spooky Night and look at all of the things, and we were like, oh, look, there's the KTH hat. What if that means something?
Right.
And we do it in a sequel, and it's already there, so it looks like they planned it all along, and they might have. But the thing that I love about them is like Saw 5 picks up right where Saw 4 left off, which picked up right where Saw 3 left off, which picked up right where they play with time all the time, and it's really been near and dear to my heart. You know, I went to see Jigsaw when they revived, or I guess prequel. I don't even. That's the only one I've only seen once, so I'm excited to rewatch that one.
See, I don't think I've seen that one.
It was another one that, you know, they marketed it as a copycat killer, but it turns out it's like some of John's first traps with his original accomplice or whatever. I guess spoiler alert for you. That's the big twist. It's another, but that's what I've noticed a lot is their biggest twist is like, oh, this was all happening at the same time, or this wasn't happening at the same time, like you thought it was, and that's
like,
kind of what
like
it
that
is
one
again.
where it's just like you thought that they were gonna come save him, but the traps had already been like they already happened.
Right.
What was that like 4?
4 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Saw 2, it's like they're all in the house, and the Detective Matthews is like, "Where the fuck is my son?" And then he's like, "I'm gonna go there," but yeah, it had all played out hours ago, and his son was actually right there in a safe. It's a good twist, there's no doubt.
Yeah, those are good movies.
They're really good. Yeah, I could really talk about them for a long time. And the other thing that I'll say, all of the DVDs have incredible special features that really lay out like how all of the traps were made, interviews with the cast, that kind of thing. And I always found those to be very interesting. And they've also really detached me from like the horror aspect, because even in like Spiral, I was like, oh yeah, I could see how they did that. Not in that way, but just in a fascinating way. As I'm watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, look, there's the prosthetic. You know, that's when it switches to, something else.
Yeah.
But Spiral, they hyped it. There's no doubt. They're like, this is a complete rebrand of the series. You know, it's not even called Saw 9. It's from the Book of Saw. Chris Rock. What did you think about Chris Rock?
I thought Chris Rock did an excellent job. I really liked him in the role. I just think Chris Rock to me is just funny as fuck, so anything he does, I'm just like, I don't know, I liked the part at the beginning where he was talking about Forrest Gump. Mm-hmm. I was just like, this is interesting it's like, I thought it was funny because I was like, whoever wrote this just like had these thoughts about Forrest Gump, and like, right. I thought it was cool that they were able to get them into the beginning of a movie like that.
Yeah, it was really interesting.
I enjoyed Chris Rock playing it. I thought he did a good job.
I liked like the opening sequence too with like the street fair or whatever, and the going down into the tunnel and then getting hit by the subway and all that. I thought that was a really interesting opening.
It was disturbing as all live in hell, hanging there by his fucking tongue. Mm-hmm.
And it really felt creepy too. Like it had a really different creepy feel than the other ones, I felt like.
I want to say this before, like, my entire movie experience was I wanted to challenge myself. So like I haven't really I don't care, it's a podcast. I haven't really been getting high that much. And so when I get high, I get really, really high. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to like smoke so much before I go into this theater, and I want to try not to get anxious, and I want to try to like sit here and watch this. So I'm sitting in the theater already. The previews are scaring the fuck out of me. I'm just like, like jumping up. I'm like the only one in the theater for like the first 15 minutes. So I'm like freaking out. And then all this happens, and I'm just watching this like, oh my God. I'm like reaching for shit. And I saw that happen. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in for something. it was quite the experience.
It was. I liked Chris Rock, and you know, it was sort of they talk about this, you know, Genesis story where like Chris Rock had this idea to revitalize the series as a fan of Saw, and you know, sort of had the story idea for this, and then worked with the original collaborators and directors to sort of make it happen. And it did feel like it definitely felt like it was in universe.
It felt like Saw 9.
It did. And it, you know, and it certainly ends in a way that there could absolutely be a direct sequel to that.
Absolutely, yep.
Spiral 2, or, you know, whatever they decide to call it. And interestingly, an article came out as they were getting ready to release Spiral and announced that Lionsgate was working, or had like greenlit, a Saw 10. And
what?
The director,
So we could have two different things going on at the same time.
The director of Spiral said, but that would make Spiral Saw 9. And the director of Spiral, who also directed Saw 2, 3, and 4, and the producers were like, well, this isn't really Saw 9. So this is Spiral 1. And there
so
could
why
be,
did you do that, Lionsgate?
Right. So there could be a Saw 10 that comes out that's actually Saw 9, but is the 10th movie in the franchise, but is a direct
James
sequel
Rolfe
to
is going to hate this.
Right. So it could end up being something like that, where like Spiral has its own series of sequels, but then Saw continues having its own series. It's going to be
Fuck
random.
it, bring it. Bring it.
I would like that, because the whole time, as much as I loved Spiral, I would say I enjoyed it. The whole time I was like missing that that Jigsaw, that John Kramer, you know, in flashback, or like it wouldn't be realistic. Like we kind of discussed, it wouldn't be realistic to suddenly be like, oh yeah, there's yet another accomplice who now, canon 14 years later, when all the other movies happen in the course of like a fucking week, all like 7.
Yeah.
So it's like wild. It would be wild to say, okay, 14 years later, in 2021, there is a copycat killer who's not actually a copycat killer, but is a direct disciple of John Kramer. Would be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, unless it was like his son or something. Who was
Right.
just like, I love what my father did, and I relearned I studied him and relearned all of what he did. I enjoyed in the fact in Spiral that it was kind of just like a cop movie featuring somebody who's doing Jigsaw type killings. Like the other movies, like I enjoy them immensely, but at this point in my life, it just really pains me to see people be tortured and killed. Like I'm like, I don't necessarily want to see that for as long as the other ones did, because they would draw it out forever and show like the suspense and just like,
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, just kill him. And like you see it slowly like ripping them apart, or just blood, like, oh.
For sure. For some reason, it's never bothered me. Maybe it's because I saw a woman be embalmed at a young age. Maybe that's just completely desensitized me to like fake gore. You know what I mean? But as much as I'm invested in the series, like invested in the story in that way, and can get like emotionally attached and scared, I'm never like, oh my god, this is really like disturbing to me. I've never really bought into that.
It's even worse when I'm high, dude. I'm just like, cause like I'm like empathizing with him fully. I'm like, oh my god, they're ripping off his fingers.
Yeah, that was a really interesting trap. Yeah, he's laying. And by the way, fuck that cop. By the way,
they hardly gave him enough time to get out of it though, cause it's like
I know.
he had been biting that thing that like pulled his fingers off. For pretty much the entire time. He only let off of it for a second or two.
Right. Shouldn't have let off for a second. He had his, he's laying in a bathtub. He
let off to scream.
He's laying in a bathtub. He's got shit attached to his, like Chinese finger traps attached to his fingers that are attached to a winch that starts pulling. He's got to bite down on this thing to pull his fingers off, to be able to get out of the bathtub before he's electrocuted.
Yeah,
he does
the
not
bathtub
make it.
is like filling up to like, and it like if it touches this copper wire, then he's just gonna get electrocuted. But by the time like he's biting on this thing pretty much the entire time, but as soon as his fingers get ripped off, he gets electrocuted.
Right. It's like as soon as the last finger finally is pulled free, he's electrocuted. But fuck that guy. He didn't deserve to live. And
what did that guy do again?
he was just an ass. He hated. He's part of the reason. You remember because they showed that flashback where Chris Rock's like, "I need backup. I need backup."
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
he didn't
and he
go
did-
help him, and then he ends up getting shot.
Right.
So like he and he's like, don't tell Zeke. He doesn't need to know this hot tip about because I'm gonna solve
This
the
is
case.
this is my case. He's too close to this.
It's a fucking pissing match, and so I'm glad he died. One thing I will say is there were only like 4 traps, you know. It really, you know, there's the subway thing with the tongue,
the finger trap,
the whatever I just said, the fingers get pulled off.
the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson at the end, yeah.
The one with
the glass
in the basement,
and the one so 5. Seems like 5.
That glass one was badass though, with the
Yeah.
conveyor belt that dropped all those beer bottles in.
That was cool.
Like, that was
And he's like,
crazy.
ah! Just being ripped
Oh
apart.
my
by
god,
glass.
that was fucking nuts.
All of the traps were really interesting, I thought. The only one that I was kind of not disappointed in, but like a little like was the wax in the basement, just because it was like it was too much like the other one in the bathtub. I mean, I know that was water and wax, but it's like another like drowning situation.
Yeah, but that one's still like highly disturbing, where he like peeled back the wax and like her face came off.
Yeah, because I didn't even I knew it was like scalding hot wax, but I still kind of thought like, oh, he's just gonna go over there and like stab into her mouth and she's gonna be like through the wax, but it was scalding hot wax. Of course it melted her face off too.
Oh my god, that was bad.
And I liked the idea that it was this corrupt police department that needed because it clearly was corrupt from the beginning and it needed to be reformed. I just think that ultimately the twist that it was, spoiler alert, last chance, his new partner was just kind of a wasted opportunity, only because when he's like at the place looking for his dad, he's like coming up, he's like looking through the thing, he's like, oh my god, something, and then it's just like his old partner's right there, he's the killer. You know what? It was just
it could have been a bigger reveal.
Yeah, it was like to me it was just so anticlimactic.
Well, it kind of was a big reveal to me, because it's like we thought he was dead.
Right. We did think he was dead. I thought it was weird though, because I thought they were gonna cut to his trap. You know what I mean? Like, because they set him up like he had just been skinned alive, and they had done a flashback once they found Fingers Man. They did his flashback and showed what happened to him. So I thought they were gonna do the same thing. Of course they didn't, because he wasn't dead. But I don't know. I was like 50. I didn't suspect it, so in that way, I guess like a lot of people are saying like it was the most predictable twist of the entire series, and I didn't think that. I really didn't catch. I really thought they were, and maybe this is the red herring, but they were kind of making me think that it was the dad. Of course,
they were making me think that too, but the entire time I'm like, is it? They're really playing this up. There's
Right.
no way it's just gonna be his dad. I was like, if it is, like, I guess okay, but like, I don't think they're gonna do it like that.
And the whole time too, the whole incident that, you know, sparked this off was that this kid watched the police department shoot his dad for no good reason and then essentially cover it up.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But to me, it was just such a weird, because the whole time he's just like, yeah, okay, I'll testify. You'll testify. And then he just shoots him. It didn't make any sense. They never really explained. It's not like he was saying, I'm going to testify against you.
No, they did say he was going to testify against another cop.
And so he was just like, snitches get stitches. It's not like he
the
was
cop he was going to testify against was his friend.
I see. So he just ends up fucking shooting him.
Yeah, he's just like, no, you're not. And then he's like, he pulled a gun on me. The witness pulled a gun on you?
Yeah, they kept showing that same clip over and over again. The witness pulled a gun on you? That's what I'm like. It was just, yeah. And so then that guy gets fired. Kid grows up and becomes Jigsaw Copycat. I get it. It makes sense why he would target the police department after that.
a little bit of a stretch to go, do you know how hard it was for me to become your partner? Like,
right.
What? Like,
It was
this
so
was your
hard
plan all
for me
along?
to get into this precinct.
And to just randomly get assigned to be your partner because you fucked up one day. Like, what?
Right. And so this is the other thing. I really enjoyed the ending. Like the ending trap was, especially like the way he turns
He came
into
up
the
like
puppet.
that. Yep,
it was
that
really cool.
Awesome.
Really creepy. The thing is, was Zeke, Chris Rock's character, just supposed to, the second he was given the chance, shoot the thing, get his dad out of the trap in the short amount of time before the SWAT got up there and leave with him? What was he supposed to do? Because
I don't know.
seems like it was destined.
He called
to
the
make
cops
that happen.
immediately to have them come there. Yeah.
So, because he's like, I have to trust you if we're going to work together, because of course, new Jigsaw needs an accomplice. Do you want to be my accomplice, or do you want to save, do you want to save your dad and be my accomplice, or kill me because you only have one bullet and you can only do one or the other?
Yeah, where it's like, if you're going to be my accomplice, you can't really save your dad because he's a bad guy. Like, he deserves this. He's a corrupt cop, and we're going to be killing corrupt cops. I thought it was weird. They did a good job in the movie, like, showing, like, the mental deterioration of Chris Rock as he's, like, witnessing all of these horrible things. But it still didn't make sense to me. He's like, you want to be my accomplice? He's just like, sure. Like,
right.
What? Like, why would you?
I just think at that point he was so, he wanted to just be like, yeah, sure, where's my dad? Yeah, I'll be your accomplice. Just help me get my father.
Oh, you think so?
And then as soon as he got his dad, he was going to be like, boom, execute this guy.
You're right, because after he did do that, he went kicked his ass.
Right. And he thought he had saved his dad and didn't take the time. But regardless, I mean, the police were already, sawing down the door. And of course, they
setting
saw
off
through
a
the
tripwire.
Yes. Yeah. That then triggers Samuel L. Jackson to become a marionette, which then holds up a gun and is annihilated by the SWAT team.
Annihilated, just destroyed.
And I gotta say, the anguish on Chris Rock's face at the end, when he especially when he turned back as the service elevator's closing, and new Jigsaw's escaping. And he turns back and he's like, no! It was really convincing. I was like, really wow, good. He is devastated. And it was really fast-paced, and I liked that about it. I was like 89 minutes, and that I think that really worked for it, but I just feel like it was missing like one more scene to build up this big reveal that that it's his partner.
Well, maybe we'll get like a director's cut.
Maybe. Who
Like,
knows?
a little more. I agree, though. I didn't really think about the reveal being that much. I felt like it was perfect for me, how fast paced it was, because like it really helped me from getting too anxious. Because probably about 4 or 5 times I'm like, I think I gotta leave.
Oh my goodness!
I'm like, I can do this though. I think I gotta leave. I was just like so intense.
I definitely enjoyed it, and if there is a direct sequel to that, I think it would be really good. There's just something in me. Maybe I was brainwashed by John Kramer, but I really just, something in me is like, it is wrong that somebody is carrying on Jigsaw's legacy.
You're brainwashed
so to
by
me,
John Kramer.
Yeah, it is wrong that somebody else, because it's like, to me, it's like disrespectful. You know what I mean? It's like, who the fuck is this guy? He thinks he's John Kramer.
Who does John Kramer think he is? Like, John Kramer's already playing God and deciding like who deserves to live and die.
Listen, I gotta say, I think John Kramer is one of the greatest anti-heroes in film. I think he is truly one of the, everybody says like Walter White and Tony Soprano are great anti-heroes, and I agree. I just think you got to include John Kramer too. That man is tortured, and they've put the backstory that they've included in like Saw 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It all just adds, and it makes this beautifully layered character that is so, obviously evil. Absolutely.
I think you forget
twisted.
all of the twisted shit.
He's absolutely twisted, but I just think he's this like deeply layered character that he's like really dear to my heart in that way. So to me, I'm like, it's disrespectful that some guy's like, I'm Jigsaw now. But you're not Jigsaw. Do something do something yourself. And I loved when Chris Rock's character was like, you're not Jigsaw, at the end there. Right, because I'm like, yeah, exactly. This guy's not Jigsaw. But hey, he got away with it. And I think it would be a good sequel. Where do they just kill more cops? Is that all it is?
Maybe. I don't know where they could go with it.
Right, like is he just trying to really become the new Jigsaw, and he's just going to continue, trying to rehabilitate the bad people in the world?
I think they said in the movie, like, I want to continue, like, going against, like, there's a lot more corrupt cops to kill.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, well, this is disappointing because like they should have done more about like racism in the police force. But this movie was supposed to come out this movie was finished before George Floyd was killed.
Has it been really finished that long?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out last summer, but then all the theaters closed, so they pushed it back this year. So while it feels very not timeless, but what's the word? Prescient, relevant to the time. While it feels relevant to the times to have this, especially the ending shot where a black man holds up a gun at the SWAT team and they absolutely obliterate him with machine guns. It's an evocative message, but and I think a lot of people were like, well, they didn't do enough to really do that. Like, is this just cheap? But I just feel like it's important to say it wasn't ever really about that because it's a year old.
Fuck people for saying that. Like, why do movies have to reflect what's going on in real life all the time?
Well, I think they're like, well, this is a reflection of real life, but it wasn't enough of a reflection, and why do it if you're not gonna...
Anybody who's saying that needs to fucking get a life.
Exactly, like it's a fucking movie.
It's a fucking movie.
And all of the bad people besides Samuel L. Jackson are corrupt, crooked white cops. So and the hero of the movie, Zeke, black. He's awesome. Yeah, he was an awesome fucking hero. Awesome movie, awesome. I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 4.
It was really right on the edge for me. I think ultimately, the John Kramer influence over me, did me in. I would be interested to see Spiral 2, but I do really hope that there is at some point, as they've mentioned, a return to the actual Jigsaw. What might be interesting is, I was talking to Taylor this morning, it might be interesting if the stories overlap at some point. You know what I mean? Like, this seeing that now in 2021 there is somebody staking John's claim, it triggers his old,
if there's ever a copycat killer, do this.
You know what I mean?
Oh, like, you're right.
And then that guy, the story's intertwined. I don't know, because
the start of the next movie is the guy from the first one just being like, he gets to like wakes up in a torture device like,
if you're watching this, then you're a copycat killer of me.
Right.
I don't know who you are, but you must have missed the first 7 movies.
Right.
You're not supposed to do this.
Yeah. It'd be so fucking funny. I'd love to see it, though. So, I mean, really, either way, I really hope that this brings some new life to the series, and that there is even if it's just a direct sequel to Spiral, and even if we never see Tobin Bell as John Kramer in another Saw series, movie, I'll be okay with it, but it's just hard for me to move on from things. But if you haven't seen it yet, the only way we're going to get a Spiral 2 or a Saw 9 is if you go see it or download it or whatever the hell it is at this point. So if you haven't seen it and you're interested in seeing it, go see Spiral. I recommend it. Watch all the other ones too. I like those better. Just a little better. Just a little bit better. But definitely go see Spiral 2. Until next time, stay moat.
Death to every fucking Republican.